Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Pokemon Go. And we're starting things off pretty nice for myself with a shiny Pidove right here at the house. But that is to say, well, I guess you don't need raids to get a shiny. But remote raids certainly do help. For instance, where I'm at, the town that I'm in is away from Orlando proper. Like, there's not really any place that's like, oh yeah, let's, go downtown. I don't have a downtown in my area. Now, when I first moved here, and this is going to be part of really what I'm going to be saying all today, there were not this many Pokestops and gyms, like even when I first got here several months ago. So I kind of understand what it's like to not have a stop right next to me. That being said, I now have a stop in my neighborhood. So we're going to be talking about the whole remote raid situation and how to navigate that if you are a rural player, if you are a free-to-play player, if you're just, not a hardcore player, but you still like the game, right? Because the hardcore players kind of know how to navigate this already, because before remote raids, there were hardcore players. There were people getting to level 40 times 5 times 6, just massive XP grinding. And via raiding. Raiding was a huge thing. Like, best friends wasn't like a huge thing like the way it is. You would go out and raid. You would do raid trains. You'd gather up a couple buddies and make a day trip and just raid all day. You set aside a day, like, you and your buddies can all like hang out. And that's going to be probably something that is going to need to happen again for the longevity of the game. And also, Niantic has done a lot, and I know a lot of people are very angry and will not want to hear this, but Niantic has done a lot to actually better the game. It's just that remote raids made everything so much easier and really took a life of their own. Well, with that being said, of course, like, I have used remote raids. I have done a lot of raiding. Like, if we go, like, not as much as some people, but like if we go to my Battle Legend, I do have a platinum. I've done over 2,000 legendary raids. A lot of, a good chunk of those have been remote raids. My champion is at 1498 raids. A lot of those, not remote raids, in person. Especially, down south, there was a park not too far away from me that I would just go to. There was like 4 gyms there, just turn them yellow, and then, I'd go around, do those gyms. Thank you for inviting me to a remote raid. This is going to, you can still do 5 of these a day. You can still be invited and do these things. However, I'm going to instead continue on with the video because this is more important. All this, the remote raids as you've seen in the video over there, it's a lot of changes are coming. Those changes are not terrible for the longevity of the game, because when we go into our settings here, we can actually do some things about this, and this is how we're going to combat this as a community. So how do we kind of combat this? Of course, you can go on Twitter and be tweeting at Niantic Labs, at Pokemon Go, etc. But Niantic has made it very abundantly clear that this is what they're going to do, and that this is not about money to them, because the remote raids are clearly how they're making a ton of money. Rating is just so much money there. And they're saying, we're okay with letting this slide to go forward with our commitment to being a real world adventure. So when we go into our settings, we're going to go into uploads. The biggest thing is going to be new Pokestop. You are able to nominate things to become Pokestops. Okay, so a big example is this neighborhood over here. I don't even know where this neighborhood is, honestly, but that was like maybe one stop, maybe one gym, and now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is happening? I'm drifting so badly right now. Shiny Corsola. No. Anyways, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stops and 2 gyms in that area. Those were not there. There's someone in that neighborhood right now just finding things and being like, let's do this. Pavilions are great waypoints. You see anything that's even remotely like a pavilion or a pagoda or anything like that, those almost always get turned into stops. The way you do this is you go to something that you think is cool. Say this switch is a pagoda, right? So you'll take a picture of this. Take a picture of the switch, upload that picture, and then in your uploads, new Pokestop, right? So it tells you kind of everything you need to do actually. Next, how do I nominate a Pokestop? So you submit all these things that they're looking for. You get an actual like location for it, and then you do all that stuff. So like right now I'm in my apartment. This is not going to be a stop. So I'm going to stop this right now. But say, this switch is the stop, right? Take a picture of the switch, provide a name like, say like Nintendo Switch at Orlando. Provide like a nice little description. Say how it benefits the community, etc. Provide a location and make sure that it's not in a dangerous place. It's not like in the middle of an intersection. It's not in someone's backyard. It's there's sidewalks to get to it. It's well lit. It's preferably like something that everyone can access, which again helps with people who have mobility issues. And those people who have mobility issues are some of the people who need remote raids. So with that being said, nominate stops, and then with a certain amount of stops, like once you get a certain amount, one of those stops becomes a gym, right? So then you have 7 stops, 9 stops. In those 9 stops, 2 of those stops became gyms. There's no way of making a stop into a gym on purpose. However, depending on the amount of stops in a certain area, every X amount of stops turns into one gym, which is super cool. Just like over on this side, there's another person nominating stops and turning things into stops, and that gym was not there when I first moved here. So that is something that really helps everyone. It helps with items, helps with raids, because the more stops you have, the potential more gyms you have. Especially if you are doing this in your hometown, it's places that 1, you know how to get to, and 2, that are close to you. They're in your hometown. I'm getting another raid. I will be right back because this person apparently needs help. All right, so the raid is going down, and that actually leads me to another thing that I wanted to talk about. Is actually something that I heard Zoe Two Dots, and I've heard people, just in the past, say like, hey, this is a community game, let's go ahead and contribute and help each other out. Let's not drop that, right? Let's actually double down and help out everyone. And the idea of adopt a rural player or adopt a buddy and help them out, especially when like I'm going to be doing raids, or someone who has money is going to be doing raids. If you're able to help out, someone, help someone out, right? So like I'm here, I have strong Pokemon that can actually contribute to taking down a Lugia. Let me help you out. This is a person I actually met years ago at an in-person raid. The first time the legendary birds were coming out, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres. And so even now, years later, yeah, I'm gonna help this guy out. So with that being said, however, how do you find these places? How do you find people? And a big way of doing that is just go to one of the bigger Pokemon Go channels, right? I'm acknowledging, like, I have 334 subscribers right now. And like 80% of people that watch the channel are not subscribed. So please, subscribe. Helps me out a lot. But anyways, go to one of the bigger channels. Go to their Discord. I guarantee you that their Discord has a channel in there that's dedicated just to raiding. Go in there, be like, hey, I need help with raids, right? I'm sure that that's going to be a thing, and it's going to be a big help for really anyone. Even like on Twitter and whatnot, people are always like being like, hey, send me invites, send me blah, blah, blah. But an even bigger part is going to the Silph Road, which is a grassroots network made by trainers for trainers. It has access to Discords, Telegrams. I think I've even seen a WhatsApp on there. Let's go ahead and check out this IV. All right. So, yeah, help people out when you're able to, right? Like, I just got this Lugia, and they were able to as well. And, for some people, it's about getting a dex entry. It's not about getting the perfect IVs or getting the shiny. It's, I want this in my dex. So help people out, especially those who actually like need help. Now, for like rural players as well, finding those Discord groups, finding Telegram and whatnot, is a big help. And one of the big things to do that with is actually, let's go ahead and X out of this Lugia. And right here, that's my recording. This little thing here, Campfire. This is still rolling out. So like right now, like I got a new phone, so I have to do a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna go into Campfire now. And this is a big help, right? So you get, where you are, and you can scroll out and you can find all these different like points. Like these are like gyms and whatnot. But eventually you'll be able to see groups, sightings of like pictures and people and whatnot. And just kind of go around and search until you find a place near you. Like all these gyms and whatnot is great. And the more people use Campfire, and apparently Niantic is committing to additional Campfire support, which is going to be great. And more stuff going towards Campfire. So I'm looking forward to that as just part of the in-game, just like helping out in-game, which is really nice. Another big one, though, is the Silph Road. So the Silph Road is grassroots, by players, for players. It has, a whole bunch of like different little things. But one of the big things is going to be this local groups button. This local groups is able to look at all these, like, there's Campfires, there's Discords, there's Telegrams, just so many things, right? And it shows literally everyone, and you can find like places, like even in like rural areas, like you can find like the closest Discord group to you, right? Like if you live like somewhere in this like random little spot, I don't even know where this is, but there's nothing there, right? If you live there, just scroll out a little bit, and boom, there's a Discord group up by the top of the lake. There's Discord groups, Telegram groups over on by the ocean and whatnot. I live in Orlando, right? And this is how I found my group. And my group actually has a community ambassador as part of the community ambassador program, and they're paired with Niantic. It's been amazing. I've absolutely loved it, and I love the community. And the community is a big part of Pokemon Go, and is one of my favorite parts of Pokemon Go. So finding those things is huge, and the Silph Road is a huge thing that's great for players, especially since Campfire still is kind of new and is building steam. The Silph Road already has that steam going. It is a locomotive. It is going. It's chugging along. So hop on the Silph Road, find yourself a Discord, a Telegram, or even a Campfire. Going back into Pokemon Go now, another big thing is going to be figuring out your play style again, right? Say you are using remote raids all the time. You're spending money. Remote raids are not cheap. Like, to do 6 raids, you have to spend 600 coins, right? Or let's say, okay, 9 raids. Let's do 9 raids. 9 raids, 900 poker coins. This 999 box gets you 15 raids plus some other stuff. And you are saving already, right? So doing raids in person has always been cheaper than the remote raids. So now they're really doubling down by making the remote raids even more expensive and making the in-person raids even less expensive. And we'll probably see even more bundles and deals in the shop to make it so that people will actually do in-person raids. Like, raiding isn't being nerfed, remote raiding is. So if you're going to be spending hundreds of dollars on raids, spend a little less, get more raids, and just go downtown. Go to the city. If you have the money to be, spending that much money on remote raids, use the savings, put that towards, fill up your tank of gas, go down. Now, if you're, in a mobility challenge situation, the situation is different. And I wish there was a way to better deal with that. And maybe there will be. Maybe we can, as a community, find some middle ground there in the future. But for now, this really is going to be the only option, is to go out or really turn down your remote raids. From unlimited remote raids to not, okay, you can do 5 a day, which is not ideal. However, it helps. At least we can still do 5 remote raids a day. Now, another thing is that if you do find your Discord group and you do get a ride over to the downtown area, and now you have more money to spend on less raids, you can spend less money now on more raids, you can just kind of keep going. And while you're doing that, you can also low-key help out the area by adding even more stops and adding more gyms to those areas and make them just blow up, right? Turn it in as like a Pokemon Go like haven. make it go crazy. Because, like, that neighborhood over there, literally one stop, like maybe one gym, now it's 7 stops and 2 gyms. Just by someone going out there and doing it. With that also being said, once you hit a certain level, you can also go... That's not it. To Wayfarer agreements, right? So you can actually go on to the Niantic website and help with the nomination process. So basically, I've gone through and helped, I think I'm understanding this correctly, helped nominate or help to get 41 stops or waypoints agreed upon. Like, they are waypoints either in Pokemon Go or in other games, because not every waypoint in Ingress actually has translated over to Pokemon Go, which is unfortunate. There's also Pikmin Bloom and the new, what is it called? Basketball Go. So all those games, you can play those other games also if you want, but like, I personally only play Pokemon Go. I tested out Ingress, wasn't really for me at the time, and I don't really know anything about Pikmin. But if you like Pikmin, do that, and I think you can have Pikmin running in the background while you're doing Pokemon Go, and it helps you out, is what I've heard. But once you get to a certain point, you can just, help out everyone, right? More waypoints. Those waypoints generally are cross-platform. Like, if a waypoint is in Ingress, it's in Pokemon Go, it's in Pikmin, for about like 90% of circumstances. So it helps out everyone. Once again, help everyone out. Help out the community. Because, God, we need it. Don't be too harsh when you're judging things. Like, okay, the picture isn't in HD quality. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good picture. But yeah, so I think there's silver linings to this, and going forward, let's just put the best foot forward, right? That's all we can do, and let's help everyone out. If you are a rural player, sub to the channel, add me on Pokemon Go. I add people all the time. That is, and has always been, my friend code since the beginning. I will add people, and I'm not great with sending gifts, but generally I will help out when I'm able to, if I can. So I'll help out. I'll do my part. I'll adopt rural buddies. Just let me know hey, I'm subscribed to the channel. Here's my friend code. Let's be friends. I need help with raids, right? I'll help out. I'll do my part. Go to the bigger channels. Same thing. I think all the content creators are pretty much along the lines of, let us help the community. So let's help the community. Let's help each other out. Make friends. Nominate Pokestops. Turn your local park into a Pokemon Go just haven, right? And then, also Campfire, Silph Road kind of reveals that there are other people playing, right? Like, you don't need a lure to, lure in people. You can find them out there on Campfire, on Telegram, Discord, Silph Road. So let's do that. Let's help everyone out. If you did like this episode, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed the series, please subscribe. And as always, God bless, and see you for another episode of Pokemon Go.